And I have never publicly endorsed a presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate in my life, over my career. So I figured let's kick this conversation off this way by me officially publicly endorsing you both to become president and vice president of our great country.
Thanks, DJ.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's
means a great
incredible.
deal to us, for real. Thank you.
Really. Thank you.
You guys are both obviously experienced to lead. You've done great things. Joe, you've had such an incredible career. You've led, in my opinion, with great compassion and heart. And
a few years later,
in today's easy cancel culture world, and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me. And in the spirit of that, you either succumb and be what you think other people want you to be, or you go, well, no, that's not who I am. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be real. If you ask me something, a real answer is important, and the truthful answer is important, and that may get people upset, it may piss people off, and that's okay.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who is just one of many celebrities that came out and supported Joe Biden in 2020, okay, because that was the thing to do, right? Orange man bad, orange man terrible, orange man responsible for the world coming to an end because of COVID. He's responsible for every death. Our problems are because of Orange Man. This is what they said, right? So all these celebrities came out here en masse and ruined their reputations by endorsing Joe Biden just for 4 years later. We're in a much worse place when it comes to just the world as a whole, when it comes to the country. Doesn't matter what it is. We're not in a better place than we were under Trump. So people now realize that, hey, we've been duped. All these celebrities that came out here and told us to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they were wrong, right? We're in a much worse place under Joe Biden than we were under Trump. But me personally, I don't understand how you get duped, because if you just listen to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris speak during the campaign trail, they told you everything that you needed to know about what they wanted to do, right? Biden was talking about open borders on the campaign trail. I mean, he was quite literally telling illegal immigrants to come into the country, right? Come to the border and seek asylum is what he said, and he got exactly what he asked for. And I mean, if you listen to people like Kamala Harris, it was very clear and obvious that she's dumb, right? That she is not the brightest bulb, okay? That the elevator doesn't go all the way to the top floor. And, you know, she always reminds you every chance that she gets that, yeah, she's definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. Like, for example, recently when she came out and basically claimed that women's NCAA brackets didn't exist before 2022 for some reason.
Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? Think about that, and talk about progress, better late than never, but progress, and what that has done, because of course when, I had a bracket, it's not broken completely, but I won't talk about my bracket. But you know what, just how we love March Madness, and even just now allowing the women to have brackets and what that does to encourage people to talk more about the women's teams, to watch them. Now they're being covered, and this is the reality. People used to say, oh, women's sports, who's interested? Well, if you can't see it, you won't be. But when you see it, you realize, oh.
Yeah, this is the same individual that The Rock came out here and endorsed in 2020, telling people, hey, you should vote for this person. This person should be the leader of our country, right? I mean, Kamala Harris is a Joe Biden heartbeat away from being president of the United States, guys. And I mean, if Biden wins in 2024, I mean, there's a decent chance that, again, she could be president at some point, right? I mean, a vote for Joe is basically a vote for that. She was the most progressive senator while she was serving, okay? That's what you're voting for. You're voting for far left progressivism if you vote for Joe Biden. But again, this is what these people endorsed, okay? This is what they endorsed, and now they're coming out here and trying to walk it back, okay? Which is what The Rock is basically doing in his interview with Will Cain. As he comes out and says that, hey, I am not going to endorse Joe Biden in 2024 after endorsing him in 2020. I mean, he even put on his smart guy glasses for this interview to articulate this. So let's get into it.
So let's be direct, let's be honest. There was a time that you used your fame, and it was a time that not everybody was happy. And that was a few years ago.
That's right.
And you made a very big point. You said, I've never done this before. I've never endorsed a political candidate.
That's
and
right.
you endorsed Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And I'm being real with you, and you're being real with me.
Sure.
A lot of people on Fox watching us, you and I talk right now, remember that and wonder about that. So how do you feel now in retrospect with that endorsement?
In what way?
Are you happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I'm not going to do that, because what I realized, and I didn't realize it back then, Will, but I realize it today. And back then, just like I am today, very lucky, I was then the most followed American man in the world, and I am today the most followed American man in the world, and I appreciate that. But I also realized that what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division. And that got me. And I didn't realize it then. I just thought, hey, our country feels like there's a lot of unrest. It feels like I would like things to calm down. Maybe we need a change. This is what I'm going to do, and this is who I'm going to endorse. The takeaway after that, months and months and months, I started to realize, like, oh man, that caused an incredible amount of division in our country. So,
AKA Trump wasn't a problem, right? You listen to what he's saying. Basically what he's saying is that, well, I thought that Orange Man was divisive, right? I thought Orange Man was the problem, right? This is what he's saying without actually really saying it. So I thought that coming out here endorsing Biden and Kamala will be a return back to normalcy where we don't have division. Turns out Democrats are very divisive, right? I mean, like, come on. That's the thing that gets me about these people that come out here and talk about how divisive Trump is. Trump's only divisive because the media makes him divisive. Democrats are divisive because they're actually really divisive, right? They're legitimately divisive, okay? They legitimately hate half of the country, okay? I don't think Trump hates Democrat voters, right? I think that he doesn't like Democrats, right? The people that are currently going after him politically, but I don't think he actually hates Democrat voters. Democrats most certainly hate Republican voters, right? Like, they've made it clear, we don't like the voters. We don't like you people, specifically rural white Americans. We don't like you. I mean, they tell you that almost every single day on DNC, which again is basically a propaganda outlet for the Biden administration. We don't like a certain segment of the country, period. They tell you that, okay? Now, again, the right, we talk a lot about the liberal cities, but we don't say we hate the people there. We just want you to do better, right? We want our great cities not to fall apart and be destroyed and, become cities of chaos. It comes from a good place, right? It doesn't come from a bad place, but legitimately, Democrats have hatred in their hearts for rural white Americans, right? For Republicans, for traditional conservative values, for men, right? That's the difference. So when you talk about who's causing a division in this country, you got to look at the Democrats. And that's why it didn't go away when Joe Biden took office, right? That's why it didn't go away. It didn't magically get better, right? Just like a lot of things didn't magically get better. They actually magically got worse. They magically got worse. And I think that's what The Rock realizes, that, hey, I told people to vote for destruction, chaos, the current state of this country, which I'm not happy with. That is what he realized. Okay. Now, again, the way to correct that, if The Rock really wants to relieve himself of that guilt, is to come out here and to tell people to do the right thing. And I'm not sure if endorsements actually matter, but he really should endorse Trump if he wants to actually correct the problem, right? He believes that things are going to get better, but how are things going to get better with the current leadership, right? Things are only going to get better if we have a change in the leadership, if we have a return back to the administration the Trump administration that had America in such a good place, at least before the pandemic. But again, he doesn't, go as far as to endorse Trump like he did Biden and Kamala. This is why, I'm not giving these celebrities a pass that want to come out here and want to try to say, oh, well, hey, I'm not endorsing Biden this time around. Okay, but you endorsed them from the beginning. You helped contribute to the destruction of this country. So the only way to remedy that is that you have to contribute to fixing it. And the way that you do that is not just by refusing to endorse Biden, but you need to come out here and overtly say, I was wrong, and Trump should be president of the United States again. That is the only way that I will give these people a pass. Other than that, they just talking, right? They just talking.
So I realize now going into this election, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that because my goal is to bring our country together. I believe in that in my DNA. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just I realize
you're 100% afraid of it. It's a no-win. If you come out here and you endorse Biden, then you look like a shield that doesn't care about the country, right? You're endorsing the destruction of this country by endorsing Biden. So there's no win there, and there's no win for endorsing Trump, because if you come out and you endorse Trump, then they're going to say that you are a sellout, right? That you ain't really Samoan. Right? I think that's what The Rock is. I think The Rock is Samoan, right? Okay? I mean, I'm just saying they're going to cancel you, okay? Hollywood is going to cancel you. So that's why you can't endorse Trump. That's why you're not making any endorsements. You are 100% scared, right? You are what? 250, 260 pounds of pure muscle. Scared as hell, right? Scared as hell. Shameful.
that this level of influence, I'm going to keep my politics to myself. And I think it's between me and the ballot box. But I will tell you this. While, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people. And I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president. And that's who I'm going to support 100%.
I trust, by the way, I feel the exact same way. I trust Americans.
Yes.
No matter the state of this country, no matter its political leadership, I inherently trust the moral backbone, the culture that is uniquely American.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Okay, so The Rock is coming out and saying that I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm not endorsing Biden after endorsing him in 2020. Again, that's how bad the Biden administration has been, right? That people are ashamed to be associated with Biden. And it makes sense. I mean, does anybody ever see any Biden-Harris signs? Like, I literally never see a Biden-Harris sign. Like, ever. I never see it because people are ashamed. They're ashamed to say they support Biden. But I see Trump signs, make America great again, all the time, right? I see it all the time. But I never see Biden signs unless it's like F you, Biden, right? That's when I see Biden signs, okay? And I think that this interview right here for The Rock, I think, again, is an example of what I'm talking about, how, again, people are ashamed. They're embarrassed to come out here and to stomp for Joe Biden, which tells you everything you need to know about how he doesn't have a real base, right? He doesn't have a real base, and because he doesn't have a real base, he's going to have a hard time motivating people to actually vote for him. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.